Hello. Um, I oh, I'm wanting to talk about my brother and my father. Both of them named Benjamin Harrison Williams Jr. and Benjamin Harrison Williams III. Uh, my grandfather was in World War One, and he was. I never met him actually. Uh, but he worked for the post office, and I am at least um, a third generation Philadelphian. And my father was a psychiatrist with the Veterans Administration. He had been in the United States Air Force during World War II, although he never left the country. And he's a really, really smart guy, um, but a bit of a kind of authoritarian type of dad who believed in corporal punishment, even though he's a psychiatrist. And my brother had predisposed to mental illness, and my father, believing in corporal punishment, quite often used it with my brother, which led to a lot of violence in the home. Like it's weird because I really do love my father and he did a great deal for me, as did my mother too. Obviously, I went to private school. I had a very affluent, opulent childhood. And we went yachting and all of this, and not much travel, but um and I think he was really, what do I wanna say, almost an autodidact. I mean, he went to school, medical school, but he also, built his own boats, and he was always trying to challenge himself and, uh, um, even cooking and learning, different languages. He spoke German and some Spanish, but, he believed in this, authoritarian, sort of uh, parenting style, and I think that made my brother's mental illness much worse. And they would get into fights, and then, from what I understood, my grandfather and my father would also get into fights. And it was interesting to see. Even like I said, I didn't know my grandfather really, but how one of the things I see in my work, because I'm a clinical social worker in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, is intergenerational kind of trauma, that my dad and my grandfather apparently used to fight, and then it looked like my father just, um, you know, kept the tradition going, and I really think it exacerbated my brother's mental health and made it much worse. And Later, my brother almost beat up my mom. Well, not almost beat up my mom, but actually did. This really had a major effect on me. That's one of the biggest issues for me in terms of my work. Like I mean, I'm a mandated reporter, so I have to call out any kind of violent behavior I see in families, and there are a lot of parents who do believe in corporal punishments. They think that is, the way to go. We do have alternatives. I mean, I work with kids in New Jersey, really, and we use like the nurtured heart technique and all kinds of 1, 2, 3 magic or attachment based, uh, strengths-based types of, parenting styles, or therapeutic styles, even, psychotherapy itself. We've gone from being, sort of confrontational into, motivational interviewing. So it's taking a really good turn, but yeah, I think it had an effect on me too, corporal punishment, because um I felt a lot of insecurity, self-doubt, and have had to go through quite a bit of therapy myself in order to work through it. And yeah, so yeah, it was interesting too to see that somebody who's so highly educated and so smart use corporal punishment as a first line of uh parenting. And I've seen it with other highly educated parents as well. I mean, I imagine it's not the norm, but it definitely happens. And yeah, I think it makes everything worse. And it's something I would actually like to write about. Because there's something my dad used to say, "I'll give you something to cry about." And I used to even wonder when he would say that, like, why would you want to give me something to cry about? Like, as if life's not hard enough. I don't need more to uh, cry about. Nobody needs anything to cry about. It is such an absurd concept. Um, and yeah, there's certainly a lot more that, like I said, that's one of the topics I find most fascinating that I'd like to explore more is the impact of corporal punishment. And again, I do love my parents. I do appreciate it. It's very difficult, like, to complain and also be appreciative. Like, it's not, I'm not like, I mean, there is a great deal about my father and mother. I really appreciate a great deal about them. However, I think this particular issue was a real problem.